This time, the acquisition of U.S. steel seems to be on the verge of being blocked due to political reasons. I'd like to start by discussing this matter and then move on to how this development might impact China. By the way, some time ago on this channel, I mentioned that despite opposition from American politicians and unions to Nippon Steel's acquisition of U.S. steel, their resistance was a tactic to extract as many concessions as possible from Nippon Steel. I had said that ultimately, the acquisition would go through. This was based on the assumption that logically, such an outcome would make sense. However, in the world of politics, it's not just about logic, emotions play a significant role, and what might benefit America as a whole is not necessarily beneficial to every individual involved. As things stand now, it seems highly likely that Nippon Steel's acquisition will be blocked. In this video, I aim to provide a comprehensive overview of the situation up to now, discuss how this matter is being reported in China, and explore its implications for the Chinese industry. Watching this video alone will give you a complete understanding of the issue. Let's begin by examining the root of this problem. U.S. Steel is a company with over 100 years of history. Like many companies with such a long legacy, it has parts that have become outdated, be it its facilities or the mindset of its employees. A long history often means outdated aspects remain, leading to inefficiencies in production. Modernization and streamlining are necessary for survival, otherwise, the company faces decline and eventual collapse. For the company as a whole, modernization and rationalization are essential. However, this often results in workforce reductions, such as a process that used to require 100 employees being done with 80 or even 50. Naturally, those who lose their jobs oppose such changes. What benefits the company as a whole may not be beneficial to each individual involved, and the opposition from these individuals can be very strong. Meanwhile, competition in the steel industry has become intense, both within the U.S. and internationally. One major reason is competition from Chinese firms, which I'll discuss later. U.S. Steel wanted to modernize and streamline its operations, but strong union resistance prevented them from doing so. Consequently, the company decided to sell itself. Nippon Steel expressed interest in acquiring U.S. Steel, but there is another bidder within the U.S., Cleveland-Cliffs, a company based in Ohio. Nippon Steel's bid is around $15 billion, while Cleveland-Cliffs offered only $7 billion in August 2023, less than half Nippon Steel's offer. U.S. Steel rejected Cleveland-Cliffs' offer, citing antitrust concerns. However, the important point here is that Cleveland-Cliffs is a domestic rival. If Nippon Steel acquires U.S. Steel, it would create a powerful competitor within the U.S., which Cleveland-Cliffs does not want. Cleveland-Cliffs' CEO has openly stated opposition to the deal. This CEO, Lourenço Gonçalves, wields considerable political influence, with direct access to the White House. He has teamed up with the United Steelworkers Union to block Nippon Steel's acquisition. This isn't just a matter of economic rationality, it's intertwined with politics and domestic power struggles in the U.S. A committee that evaluates the national security implications of foreign investments in the U.S. was also reviewing this case. While it's hard to imagine Nippon Steel's acquisition of U.S. Steel would genuinely pose a national security threat, political considerations made it risky for committee members to conclude there was no threat. The decision was ultimately left to President Biden. Biden and Cleveland-Cliffs CEO have a long-standing relationship, and Gonçalves had hinted earlier that Biden would block the acquisition. It seems the two had already agreed on this outcome. When the decision was handed to Biden, it was announced that the deal would be blocked. However, the final decision might come during a future administration, potentially Trump's. Pennsylvania, where U.S. Steel is headquartered, is a swing state, making it crucial for elections. Both Biden and Trump have political reasons to oppose Nippon Steel's acquisition. Without special concessions from Nippon Steel, it seems unlikely Trump would reverse Biden's decision, even if he regains power. That said, Trump may make decisions that prioritize U.S. interests, sometimes going against public sentiment, unlike Biden. If Nippon Steel's bid is blocked, U.S. Steel will likely continue to weaken, eventually requiring another buyer. Domestic companies may take over, leading to significant restructuring and layoffs, including those who oppose the initial acquisition. In China, this matter has drawn significant media attention. For example, some Chinese articles claim, Japan is angry, pointing out that Japan sees this as a betrayal by its ally, the U.S. The justification for blocking the deal as a national security risk is viewed skeptically in Japan. It raises the question, is America truly an ally of Japan? While the U.S. denies that it's labeling Japan as a security risk, the explanations seem weak and politically driven. Some Chinese articles speculate that this decision might push Japan closer to China. However, this overlooks the historical tensions between the two nations. Most Japanese people remain wary of China's propaganda and would not consider China a better partner than the U.S., despite America's actions in this case. Interestingly, China's steel industry is facing severe challenges of its own, exacerbated by the bursting of the real estate bubble. Overcapacity and declining demand are creating a crisis. Even as this geopolitical issue unfolds, the Chinese steel industry is entering a difficult era, unable to focus solely on external developments.